Use your lips to pull me in, just to stick in another pin. But if you want this heart of mine, your evil just won't work this time. I'm done with all your bitchcraft. I gotta get my soul back. We played this game so long, I'm not sure that it will come back. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but baby, I just can't live with all your...
This is Aaron from Popaholic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. I want to talk a little bit about your new album that's coming out, Ready, Steady, Go. And you worked with your childhood idol, Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats, correct?
That's right. Excuse me. Sorry, I just took a drink of water.
No problem.
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, I grew up idolizing him, and standing in front of the mirror trying to look like him and dress like him and do my hair like him and play guitar like him. And I could have never imagined that I would actually have the opportunity to one day meet him, let alone work with him and have him play on my record. I mean, it really is a dream come true.
I think it's pretty cool how you've basically evolved from the Disney era into your own person. I mean, and you have great musical taste, by the way. I loved your first album, especially working with Roger Manning Jr. It did a wonderful melodic album, the first album.
Thank
you. This one is more a lot of covers, and you have an original single there, Bitchcraft, as well. How did that song Bitchcraft come about?
Well, see, I grew up playing this music, the rockabilly sound and all of that. But I never, once I started making records, you think marketability, you think this and that and this and that. I gravitated towards more writing, thinking pop music and all that. But for Bitchcraft, it was interesting because I'd never actually tried to write that type of material, really. I'd always loved playing, 50s music and all the jazz and big band and all that kind of stuff. But to actually try and, okay, now I have to write my own song that sounds new. It doesn't sound like an old song. So it was interesting, but it was a lot of fun, and that kind of gave us the whole grounds for the record. Really, once we got that song, we could kind of go from there and construct the rest of the record as far as how it was going to sound and everything.
Yeah, I noticed you have a lot of my favorite artists you cover in there, including The Move as well, and it's just really a wonderful album.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the production. I mean, did you use Brian Setzer's guitar? What guitar did you use?
Yeah, well, most of the guitar on the record is a 59 Gretsch. And Brian, of course, came in with his signature 59, and
right.
That's what he played through the 61 Bassman and the rolling tape. And but yeah, as far as the production, I mean, we got to. It was really fun to do it this way, because usually I'm working in the studio, constructing, creating in the studio, building, and playing a lot of the instruments myself and doing all that. But for this one, we got all of the musicians together, rehearsed for 5 days, and then went in and recorded the record live. I mean, there's no auto-tune, there's no click. We didn't record to a metronome. It was just, we recorded the whole record live and then went in and did all of, any guitar solo overdubs or vocal stuff that we needed to do. But, I mean, this is, you can't get much more live than this album.
Yeah, it's almost like good practice for taking it out on tour. Are you planning to support the album with a tour of any sort?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the coolest things about this album is this music is so much fun to play live. So I can't wait to get out there. We're putting stuff together right now. I also do a lot of touring. I can't wait to get out outside the United States and it's this type of rock and roll music's really received well, like down south and in a lot of other places. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get out on the road and see what people are thinking about the new sound.
Cool. Well, I think everyone's going to love it. It's a great bunch of covers, and I have one or two other questions. I know you recently also released a movie, Birds of Paradise, where you did some of the voices, the voice of the lead character there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you work directly with the rest of the cast, or is sort of everyone brought in separately to work, or did you work alongside the other cast members?
For that one, we didn't work together. We were brought in separately, which is the case on a lot of projects. But some things, like for example, for Spider-Man,
Right.
that I'm doing today, I mean, we do it all in a room together, the whole cast, to really play it out like it's a sitcom or like a show, so we can really play off of each other. But yeah, as for the Birds of Paradise, you know, when we go, that's really just working one-on-one with the director, and yeah. So those are the two ways to do it. But for Birds of Paradise, we did it on our own. But that doesn't. I mean, it was cool. We were all there, like, you know, Ken Jeong. We were all hanging out, but we weren't in the booth at the same time.
Right. Okay. But is there a big difference between acting on a sitcom and doing like the Spider-Man show, where you, other than the fact that you don't have to deal with any makeup or wardrobe?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of differences. You almost have to be bigger and broader when you're dealing in voiceover, because no one can see you. So when you're, say for example, if you're running in a scene that's live action, you don't have to think about what you sound like when you're running, or how you're breathing when you're running. You just do it, and it gets caught on film. But when you're doing a voiceover, you have to go, okay, they're running, and then you jump and then slide under this car. And you're like, okay, and you have to like make all the noises and think of how would I breathe if I was running. Oh no, make the breathing more angry, or make the breathing. No, if you sound too angry, make it a little happier breathing. You know, you have to think of all of these things that you would never have to think about live action, and you also tend to make choices that you wouldn't make if there was a camera on you, because some things you have to be broad and make these crazy faces and do all these crazy antics with your body just to get that right sound out. And if there was a camera on you, you might be a little bit more self-conscious, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, getting back to the camera work, are you still in touch with Josh from the old show, Drake and Josh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Josh and I talk all the time. I just talked to him the other day. We're really good friends.
Is there any kind of reunion show planned in the future?
You know, there's not at the moment, but I would never be opposed to it. I would love to get the band back together, so to say, you know. And the fans are still out there that are. It almost seems like the fan base is growing. It's crazy. It's really interesting, but yeah, I mean, I would love to do that one day.
Awesome. Well, I also read that you basically model your career after, you know, the greats like McCartney and Billy Joel and Michael Jackson and Elvis. And I'm wondering, so does this album really take you to the next level, where you're going to be doing more covers, or are you going to be doing more originals in a certain style, or switch your style over?
Well, definitely. I mean, this is the record I've always wanted to make. I mean, this is the music I grew up playing, and like I said, this is the album I went into, and I didn't think, you know, about market. You know, I just went in and made the record I wanted to make as an artist. You know, that would satiate my appetite as an artist. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy where my music is right now, and I'd like to continue on this journey. You know, and as far as the covers and originals, you know, Makes Me Happy is a song on the record I wrote. Give Me a Little More Time is a song on the record that I wrote. So there is a good balance. But with this album, I really, you know, there's a lot of my fans and people, even my age, you'd be surprised that hear these cover songs, and of course you hear them and you're like, oh, that's that Billy Joel song, or that's The Move, or, you know, I mean, these kids have no clue. They may have never even heard that song. They grew up on Top 40 radio. Their parents didn't turn on the oldies station, you know. So this is sort of my opportunity to bring this classic music that they may have never been able to have the opportunity to get their hands on, kind of, and put it right in front of their faces, and kind of
like reintroducing it to a new generation.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. Because we're recording this, and I wanted to give you the last word on the, quote, little internet stir-up that you had with, I think, Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. You have the final word here on this. I want to hear your side.
Yeah, I mean that was all. I was misquoted. It was interesting because what I was saying was that a lot of these young artists come off and they're stars immediately out of nowhere, off of YouTube, and they don't put in the work. And what I said was, but there are exceptions, like Ariana Grande, who people could look at and think, oh, well, she's so privileged. How what work has she ever had to do? But you really look at her, and I mean, I opened for her last year, and her voice is amazing, and and watching her perform, I mean, and to see the work that girl puts into it, that's something that a lot of people don't see. So what I was saying was, there are those kids who are, YouTube famous or whatever, that kind of don't understand the work that you have to put into this craft to be able to do what you want to do. And what I said was there are exceptions. So I guess he just decided to leave that part out and lump it in with the Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber comment, I guess.
I guess everybody wants to do something to stir up more tweets, I guess.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. Those are hot Twitter comment topics. So
well, but excellent. I just wanted to thank you so much for talking with me, and I look forward to seeing your album succeed and seeing you continue bring great music out to your fans, as well as sort of reintroducing great pop music to a new generation of fans.
Well, thank you, man. That really means a lot. That's nice to hear. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Drake Bell with Aaron at Popaholic. Thanks so much, Drake. We look forward. Your album, once again, is called Ready, Steady, Go, and it's going to be out April 22nd. And look on Drake's site. I guess you'll have information on the concert tour?
Yes, I will.
Well, thanks once again, and we'll hope to hear from you soon.
Will do. Thank you very much.
All right, take care then.